They lied to us. The medical authorities lied to us. They told us that the carnivore diet would give us scurvy because there's no vitamin C. Wrong. They told us that we would have digestive issues because of a lack of fibre. Wrong. They told us it would cause chronic inflammation. Wrong. They told us that eating only meat would lead to cancer. Wrong. They lied to us over and over again about the carnivore diet. On the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, 2024, I started the carnivore diet. That was just on 400 days ago. And in that 400 days, I have eaten only meat, eggs, salt and butter. I do occasionally have a cup of coffee, which I'll put a drop of fresh cream in. But other than that, it's just meat, salt, eggs and butter. At that time, I hadn't even started my health journey, but I knew I needed to. I was about 25 kilos overweight. That's about 50 pounds. I had a fatty liver. I was pre-diabetic. I had chronic inflammation. I had joint pain all through my body. I was on a string of medications. I could go on for quite some time with all the conditions I had. On the 1st of April, 2024, 400 days ago, but on that day I started eating meat and eggs and salt and butter. So over the course of that 400 days, I've been eating 2 meals a day. On my first meal is usually just egg and bacon and a cup of coffee or a glass of water with it in the morning. I have that meal about 9 o'clock. I'm retired, don't have to get up and go to work, so I can have breakfast a little bit later than normal. The second meal I have is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that meal is just a meal of meat of some sort. Quite often lamb chops, lamb roast. I love lamb, being an Aussie. Roast beef, beef steaks, ribeye when I can get them for a special treat. Mince meat, you might call it ground beef in the States. Just any sort of meat that I can get. I have stuck to that diet now for 400 days. You might ask me, why did I stick to it? Well, I started the diet thinking I would try it for 90 days, just 3 months, and then I would reassess things. But after 3 months, I had such incredible success with this diet. I lost my weight that I wanted to lose. Nearly all of my health conditions had come good. I was well on the track to achieving all my goals just in 90 days. So I said to myself at the time, I'm never going back. I'm going to continue on with this because it's just so good. It just works. It's getting all of the results I want, and I felt fantastic. So what has happened in the 400 days? Let me try and list down some of the things. I've jotted them down here. There would be too many to mention them all, but I'll mention some of the main ones. As I said, I lost the weight. I've lost 25 kilos or 55 pounds in weight. I reversed my pre-diabetes. The doctor told me recently there is no sign of diabetes. My blood sugar is normal. My insulin is normal. All of those figures have come right down to the normal range from being quite extreme. My fatty liver has been reversed. There's now no of that visceral fat around my liver or my vital organs. Inflammation, they told us that the carnivore diet would cause inflammation. Well, I started the carnivore diet with a CRP of 14, and the last blood test I had, it's down to 3. Now it's meant to be 2, I think. So the carnivore diet dropped my inflammation CRP levels from 14 down to 3. That's a dramatic drop on this diet. What else has happened? I had plantar fasciitis in my feet, and it was very painful and debilitating. That's totally gone. Let's see, what else have I got here? Blockage issues for decades in my life, and always had to use nose sprays, particularly at night if I had any chance of getting some sleep or being able to breathe through my nose. Totally gone. Never use a nose spray now. I no longer snore, my wife tells me. My reading glasses are gone. You know, I can't explain it, but I used to use reading glasses to read, and now I put my glasses on, and I just take them off, and I think, I can see better. I can see the print on this page better without my glasses than what I did with my glasses. Now, I've had reading glasses for almost 20 years, and now they're gone. Sunburn. Now, I go out canoeing a lot, and I went out canoeing in this last summer on the Murray River, where I love to go, where we're paddling in the full sun. Normally, I would lather myself with sunburn cream. Now, I don't need to. I just don't burn in the sun. I can't explain it scientifically, but all I can tell you is that I used to burn really easily. I don't have to put that chemical-laden cream all over my skin, and I don't burn. Now, obviously, I'm not stupid in the sun, but I'm no longer afraid of the sun. I like to get out in the sun and enjoy the sun, and it gives me vitamin D and so many other benefits if you do a little bit of research on that. Brain fog is another big one. You don't realize you've got brain fog until you do carnivore and it lifts and you see the difference, and you think, I lived with that. I lived with that fog over my brain all of those decades and I didn't even know, but now I'm free from it. And you just see things clearly. You think more clearly. You solve problems and issues far more easily. You're far more alert. You're far more focused on what you're doing. I can do video scripts and record a video or anything to do with my YouTube channel. When I started, it took me hours and hours. It took me several days just to do one video. Now I can do that much more quickly because I'm much more focused. Yeah, carnivore just seems to alleviate stress. I was never a highly stressed person, but like most people, I had a fair bit of stress in my life. I would worry about things and I would erupt if, things didn't always go my way. And now I just feel so much calmer, and I have so much peace in my life, so much joy in my life. It's not that I'm now free of problems. I've probably had more problems and family issues in the last 12 months than I have for some time, and yet I'm not erupting, I'm not worrying, I'm not stressed out, I'm not laying awake at night thinking about it. I'm calm, I'm peaceful, and that is an incredible feeling just from the carnivore diet. Sleep is a lot better now. Before carnivore, I would sleep, an average of 5 to 6 hours a night, on a good night sometimes, and I would toss and turn, wake up and lay awake for long hours. Now on carnivore, I find I get into bed, I go to sleep pretty quickly, and I stay asleep the whole night, and I'm not tossing and turning, I'm not laying awake for hours, but on top of that, the quality of the sleep. You just wake up and you've had a rich, good, deep sleep. And you do a little bit of research on sleep and find out all of the benefits of getting good sleep. It makes a huge difference. So that's another one. Energy levels. I'd have to say, before carnivore, if we went out for a day, I'd have to have a rest day afterwards, the next day, to recover from the day out. And now I find that I can go out all day and night, and I'm ready to go again the next morning and the next night. And I've got energy that I've never had. I've never experienced this. I started to notice that my energy levels were dropping about the age of 40. And now I feel better than what I did at 40. I feel that energy has come back into my life. I just feel good. I feel great. I feel ready to go. I feel eager. I can do more physical work. I can walk. I can run. I can paddle a canoe for a whole day, and then set up camp and set up tents and so on. It doesn't bother me. You see, you have so much more energy on carnivore. And then there's one more I'd mention that I've found that carnivore has brought into my life, and that is a clearer sense of purpose. Once you retire, you sort of think for a while, what am I going to do? And there's some hobbies and interests that you want to get into, but you start to think, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with the time that I've got? How can I use my abilities and my talents to to serve in some capacity, because I know that you only find meaning and purpose in life when you're serving, when you're living beyond yourself, when you're no longer a single seed person. You know, Jesus said a single seed, unless it falls into the ground and dies, it remains a single seed. And so many people remain a single seed, but I didn't want that. I wanted to invest my life, and Carnivore's given me a sense of purpose. I started this YouTube channel, and now I find a real sense of purpose in being able to inspire and to encourage others to start this journey. So look, folks, there's just, I could go on for some time, but they're the things that have happened to me when I started eating meat. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe all the negativity. Don't believe the so-called experts among your friends and family. Just do this. Take control of your own health. Change your life, and you will see profound differences. I can guarantee you this thing just works. Thank you for watching. Please join our Facebook group, the Carnivore Pensioner. If you want to know why I started Carnivore in the first place, I did a bit of research on it back then. You ought to watch this video up here, because in this video I explain why I started. But look, thanks for watching. Keep telling your story, and God bless.